The auction block reeked of desperation and ozone. Jake Morrison pushed through the crowd of traders and slavers on Kelos 9, a border station where laws went to die. He wasn't here to buy it. He was here to observe, to understand the depths of what the galaxy had become in the outer sectors. But then he saw her. She was small, maybe 4 feet tall, with blue skin that seemed to shimmer under the harsh lights. Her eyes were too large, filled with a terror that made Jake's stomach turn. The auctioneer, a 4-armed Quellan, gestured dismissively at her. Void-touched specimen. Starting bid, 6 credits. 6 credits. The price of a meal. The crowd shuffled uncomfortably. No one raised a hand. The girl's eyes locked onto Jake's, and she shook her head frantically, mouthing words he could barely hear. Don't. Please don't. Jake raised his hand. 6 credits. The auctioneer blinked in surprise, then grinned with too many teeth. Sold to the human. Minutes later, Jake had her in his ship's cargo bay, wrapped in a thermal blanket. She was shaking, not from cold, but from something deeper. Why did you buy me? She whispered. I warned you. Because no one else would, Jake said simply. What's your name, Lyra? Her voice cracked. And you've made a terrible mistake. Before Jake could respond, alarms screamed through the ship. His navigation system crashed. Life support flickered. The main engines died with a groan that sounded almost organic. What the hell? Jake sprinted to the cockpit, Lyra stumbling behind him. Through the viewport, he saw station security ships powering up weapons. His comm crackled. Unregistered vessel. You are harboring illegal cargo. Surrender immediately or be destroyed. Jake's hands flew over the controls, rerouting power from auxiliary systems. Illegal cargo? She's a person, not cargo. You don't understand, Lyra said, her voice hollow. I'm void-touched. My people bring misfortune to anyone who owns us. It's why I cost 6 credits. It's why you should have left me there. Superstition, Jake muttered. But even as he said it, another system failed. The backup generator sputtered and died. It's not superstition, Lyra whispered. Jake got the engines online using a manual override that shouldn't have worked. The ship lurched forward, barely ahead of station security fire. They cleared the station's gravity well, but the relief lasted only seconds. 3 sleek ships materialized from hyperspace, weapons hot. Bounty hunters. The lead ship hailed him. Surrender the void-touched human. There's a bounty on her head. Walk away alive. Jake checked his weapons. Half were offline. His shields were operating at 30%. Everything that could go wrong was going wrong. He glanced at Lyra, who had curled into herself, tears streaming down her blue face. I'm sorry, she sobbed. I told you not to buy me. Jake set his jaw. I don't abandon people because things get hard. He fired the ship's remaining weapons, catching one bounty hunter by surprise. It spiraled away, damaged but not destroyed. The other 2 opened fire. Jake's shields collapsed entirely. Hull breaches sealed automatically, but barely. Why do they want you? Jake demanded, throwing the ship into a desperate roll. I don't know, Lyra cried. My whole life people have hunted me, enslaved me, sold me. They say I'm cursed, that I bring death. Jake's mind raced. The pattern was wrong. If she truly brought random bad luck, it would affect everyone equally. But the systems failing were his defenses, his escape routes. It was too targeted. Lyra, what if you're not cursed? What if something is following you? She looked up, eyes wide with sudden understanding and horror. The hive. What hive? My people discovered it too late, she whispered. A parasitic consciousness. It doesn't destroy us. It marks us. Turns us into beacons. Wherever we go, it follows, destroying everything around us to keep us isolated, to keep us for itself. As if summoned by her words, the stars themselves seemed to darken. Dozens of organic ships materialized, their hulls pulsing with bioluminescent veins. They were massive, dwarfing everything else in the sector. The bounty hunters fled without a word. Jake's remaining systems went haywire. The hive ships didn't fire. They simply advanced, surrounding his vessel in a tightening net. A psychic pressure built in his skull, a presence trying to communicate. Give her back. The words weren't spoken but felt, like ice sliding through his thoughts. "No," Jake said aloud. Lyra grabbed his arm. "You have to. It will kill you. It kills everyone. That's why I begged you not to buy me." Jake looked at the sensor display. The hive ships were closing. His weapons were useless. His shields were gone. By every logical measure, he was dead. But humans didn't become the galaxy's most stubborn species by following logic. "Strap in," Jake ordered. "What are you doing? Something stupid." He punched the engines to maximum and dove toward a nearby asteroid field, one of the densest in charted space. The hive ships followed, their formation never wavering. "They'll follow us in," Lyra said. "They're faster, stronger, but they're not human," Jake replied. The asteroids came at them like bullets. Jake threw the ship into rolls and dives that would have killed most pilots. His nav computer screamed warnings he ignored. A chunk of rock the size of a building nearly sheared off the starboard wing. Behind them, the hive ships navigated with eerie precision, but they were too large, too coordinated. They expected their prey to flee to take safe routes. Jake took none. He noticed something else. Every time a system failed, he knew it a split second before it happened. The bad luck wasn't random. It was predictable. "Lyra," he said, a wild plan forming. "When does the next system fail?" She looked confused. "I don't control it, but you feel it, don't you? You've lived with this your whole life." Understanding dawned in her eyes. Port thrusters. 5 seconds. Jake immediately compensated, routing power away before the failure. When the thruster died, the ship didn't spin out of control. He'd already adapted. Starboard power coupling. 3 seconds. Jake rerouted again. They were weaponizing the curse. He flew deeper into the field, the hive ships struggling to follow. Their coordination, their strength, became a weakness in the chaos. They couldn't predict the failures like Lyra could. Jake saw his chance. The Hive Queen ship, the largest vessel, was directing the others. It hung back, protected. "Lyra, can you sense the next major failure?" She closed her eyes, concentrating. Main reactor. 90 seconds. It will be catastrophic. Perfect. Jake turned the ship around, flying directly at the Queen ship. Every alarm in the cockpit screamed. The Hive presence in his mind roared with rage and confusion. "Human, stop. You die." "Yeah," Jake muttered, "but so do you." At the last second, he ejected the reactor core, the one Lyra predicted would fail. It tumbled toward the Queen ship just as Jake fired his last functional weapon, a mining laser meant for asteroids, not combat. The beam struck the failing reactor core. The explosion was blinding. The Queen ship's bioluminescent veins flared bright, then dark. It began to break apart, its psychic scream cutting off mid-thought. Without the Queen's coordination, the Hive fleet scattered, confused, directionless. Jake's ship drifted on emergency power, barely functional. But they were alive. Lyra stared at him, tears flowing freely. "The signal, it's gone. I can't feel it anymore." "The beacon? You killed the Queen. Without it, there's no one to mark me." She laughed, a sound of pure disbelief and joy. "I'm free." Jake managed a tired smile. "Good. Now let's get you somewhere safe." 3 days later, Jake delivered Lyra to a colony of her people, refugees who had escaped the hive. They welcomed her with open arms, unable to believe she'd been freed. As Jake prepared to leave, Lyra ran to him. "Why did you do it?" "You could have died." Jake thought about it, about the cease credits, about the warning she'd given, about every logical reason he should have walked away. "Because you asked me not to," he said finally. "And humans have a bad habit of doing exactly what we're told not to, especially when someone needs help." She hugged him, this girl who'd been worth 6 credits to the galaxy but priceless to one stubborn human. As Jake's ship limped away from the colony, he activated a message to galactic bounty networks, law enforcement, anyone who would listen. The message was simple. The void-touched aren't cursed. They're prisoners, and humanity doesn't negotiate with slavers. The galaxy would learn, as it always did, that humans didn't calculate the cost when it came to doing what was right. Sometimes 6 credits bought more than a life. Sometimes it bought a revolution.